What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rocco's Kitchen. Tonight, making a super fresh, delicious pasta dish. It's going to be a spinach fettuccine. We're just going to toss that in some roasted tomatoes and some basil, extra virgin olive oil, top it with a little mascarpone that we're going to whip up with some black pepper. Now, cheers. And let's get into this. What you're going to need for your pasta dough will be 300 grams of all-purpose flour, 3 eggs, and about 3 cups of spinach that we're going to blanch. It's going to be the first thing we're going to do, so we're going to head on over to the stove and get started. But first, don't forget, like and subscribe, because we're putting out more of these videos every week. Let's go. So to blanch your spinach, you're going to want a pot of boiling water, and you're going to want an ice bath ready to go, because it's not going to take very long. So we're going to take our spinach right into the water. Make sure it's all submerged. Let that go for like 10 seconds. That should do it. So we're just going to take it out and go into our ice bath. Now you're going to put that in the ice bath, and that's going to stop the cooking. It'll keep your spinach nice and bright green. If it keeps cooking, it'll turn brown on you. All right. Just going to turn that water off and we'll save that to cook our pasta in later. Spinach is blanched, so we're going to take it out of the water. We're just going to squeeze all that excess water out. You want to be sure to get out as much as you can. Okay. You don't gotta kill yourself, but you want to get a good bit of that liquid out. Okay. Break it up a little bit. Throw it in our blender. Now we will add our 3 eggs. What's left, just blend that up. Alright guys, now for the fun part, or at least my favorite part, making the pasta. We're gonna dump out our 300 grams of flour. Make a nice big well. Now we'll add our spinach and egg mixture. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned extra virgin olive oil earlier with the pasta dough, but we are going to add about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil as well. We're going to do that right now. Okay. Now, just going to start pulling in the flour, working that into the egg mixture. Look at how green that is. You just want to use the tips of your fingers and like a claw, working that in. Pulling from the sides. See it already starting to get thicker. Turn it into a nice dough. It's kind of thick enough to where we don't have to worry about it spilling over. Which in my eyes, that's success. Once your egg starts running, that's terrible. It's real loose. Right. I believe this is what you would call a shaggy mess. A little stuck to the table. Just gonna take my dough scraper, scrape that up. Okay, start folding that flour in. This is a beautiful dough. It comes out nice and delicate, but not brittle. It's just got a beautiful color to it. Okay. Almost all that flour is incorporated. Now it's time to start kneading. We're going to knead this dough for at least 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth. Do that. Take the palm of your hand, press out, you're going to pull it back in, turn, press out, in, just a quarter turn. Fold it in half, turn, press, fold in half, turn, press. Use both hands. But look at how beautiful this is. All right, sorry. We'll get back to kneading. Okay, so I'm just going to do this for about 10 more minutes till this dough is nice and smooth. As you can see, don't really have a true rhyme or reason to it. You want to turn it and whatnot, but just do what feels good. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Our dough here is gorgeous. I'm ready to go. I'm just going to wrap that in saran wrap, let it sit for half hour to an hour before we start rolling it out. In the meantime, we'll work on the other stuff. Alright guys, Antoinette is awake from her nap and decided to join us for this part, which is our tomatoes. I got my broiler on in the oven. Just going to take a paring knife, cut these stems out. I'm just going to take them and cut them into wedges. Pretty thin wedges. Put them right into a bowl. You could use different tomatoes for this. You could use Romas. The Romas didn't look that good. They had some beautiful heirloom tomatoes while I was at the store, so I got the Romas. I just go with whatever looks the best and smells the best. And these smelled fresh and felt ripe. Okay, so just going to dress the tomatoes with extra virgin olive oil, salt, and pepper. Go onto a sheet tray. Spread them out pretty evenly. And then we're going under the broiler with these. We'll get those broiled. We'll be right back. The tomatoes look gorgeous. Just pulled those out from the broiler, so we're just going to set those to the side and we'll go fix our mascarpone. Our tomatoes are ready. Now our mascarpone. Gonna scoop it into a bowl. All we're doing is adding some black pepper to it. This is freshly ground black pepper. I just use a spice grinder for that. Whisk. A little more. Or about a tablespoon. that is ready to go. That's all there is to that. Let's set that to the side. It's time to start rolling out our pasta. We got our tomatoes ready and our mascarpone, and our dough is rested. Now it's time to make some pasta. Take this out and cut off about 1/3 of it. Just lightly rewrap the rest so it doesn't dry out. Kind of flatten it with my fingers just to help it get started through there. Make sure your pasta roller is set to 1. It's a little tacky. We're just gonna add a little bit of flour. And we'll start rolling out our dough. So on this first setting, we're going to take it, run it through, and fold it, and run it back through. We're going to do that at least 5 or 6 times. Nice and smooth. One more. Okay. Now we're done folding it in half. We're going to start going down. I'm going to go down until I get to the 4. And put it through the 4. Now you only got to go through 1 time. And no folding in half anymore. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Looks good. And I'm just going to lightly flour it again. I'll take it. I'm going to go get about 3 sheets out of that guy. Cut that into thirds. We're going to hang it on our drying rack until we're ready to cut it into our fettuccine. So I'm going to do that 2 more times. And then we'll cut our fettuccine. Okay, we got all of our pasta rolled out. Now we're going to take each sheet. And there's a fettuccine attachment for that machine, but I actually prefer to cut it by hand. Super easy. Also like to flour both sides first. It'll help it from sticking to itself. So now to cut the fettuccine, all I'm going to do is fold this down, bring it back, and bring it back. Just fold it onto itself. And then you can cut however thick you want. You can cut pappardelle right now. If you're feeling frisky, you can cut spaghetti. It might take a while. But Got some nice fettuccine. Just going to transfer that to our sheet tray with some flour on it. Little bundles. It's already nice and floured. We'll do that one more time. Flour. This piece is already floured pretty good. Okay, so you just want to fold it up. Cut your fettuccine. Okay, we're going to cut the rest of this, and then we're going to cook it. So I will see you back over at the stove. Also, guys, quick little tip. If you are using the fettuccine cutter for the KitchenAid or any pasta machine, you're going to want to let that pasta hang for probably about 10 minutes or so and dry out slightly so it doesn't stick to itself when it goes through. Or you might have a problem with all your strands sticking to each other. All right. Water's boiling. We're just gonna go in. I also have my oven on warm with those tomatoes in there. Just keeping those tomatoes that we broiled nice and warm. We're gonna go in with that. Give it a stir. The pasta is only going to take about 3 minutes to cook. This fresh pasta will cook nice and fast. And we'll put this dish together. I'm going to strain that, and then we're going to build this dish. Right, we got our strained pasta in here. Tomatoes are nice and warm. I'm going with that. Extra virgin olive oil to coat all that. Now we're going to take these basil leaves and just rip some basil leaves up into there. Real rustic. All I'm going to do is toss it together. Okay, we're gonna plate it, put a scoop of the mascarpone on top. So let's see what we got. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. I know I'm about to enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.